金色ラブリッチェ。
This is an issue every year, but doesn't it feel like the temperature shifts like crazy going from November into December?
わかるかもです。11月はまだ秋っていうか、寒くはなってきてもまだポカポカ晴れてる感じがあるけど、12月はもう寒いって感じしますよね。
Yeah, exactly. November is cold and sunny, while December is chilly and cloudy.
この国に来たばかりの身としてはよくわかりませんが、そんなに変わるのですか?
Yeah, I'm sure it doesn't change that rapidly, but December always felt kinda gloomy.
12月といえばクリスマス。つまり夜だからそこからのイメージもあるかもですね。
Makes sense. Either way, the whole month gives off this cold, wintry vibe, and that's not just from the temperature dropping like a rock. It was now December 2nd, which marked the beginning of this frigid month.
さ、先輩、ラジオ体操の時間です。
6 in the morning sure is rough. The sun hadn't even come out yet. The sky was a dark shade of violet and didn't have that morning feel to it yet.
東雲と言うんでしたか。朝らしい朝じゃありませんの。
Nah, the sun really is necessary to call it morning. A morning without the sun isn't morning at all. Point being, it's not morning yet, which means it's still nighttime and I should still be in bed.
起きてー。
Akane-chan, you're always so full of energy.
お日様は空じゃなくて先輩の心にあるものですよ。さあ、心を燃やして朝のお日様を呼びましょう。ファイトです、先輩。
Yeah, fiery for sure.
茜ですから。
With that, they proceeded to drag me out of bed whether I liked it or not. And when I waited for the sun to come out as we danced around in the cold, I used up all my energy this morning. Oomph.
お疲れ様でした。
I wish I could at least rest on the weekends. Today was Saturday. As light as it was, even Mina-chan was less heavy-handed about etiquette on days off, but
土曜日だからこそ、お休みだからこそ、朝から元気出していきましょう。いつも心にバーニングですよ、先輩。元気いっぱいで朝を迎えると、いい休日が送れると思いませんか?
haha, I do think it's great how spirited you are. Only because there were few people with so much excess energy.
おはよう。
That was when Reina came down. Well, this is rare. A certain someone who normally sleeps until noon on her days off is awake.
昨日ダイエットに夕飯抜いたらお腹空いちゃって。おはようございます、レイナ先輩。おいっす、あかねちん。ちょいちょい、こっちおいで。はい？ピトッとな。
She touched the nape of Akane-chan's neck without warning.
手冷たいっしょ。冷たいですよ。びっくりした。顔を洗うときさ、給湯器の調子が悪くて全然あったかいの出てこなくて、冷たい水で洗ったらこうよ。てい。逃げるな。次はそのぬくぬくそうなお腹を触らせるのだ。ヘルプミー。
Maybe Akane-chan's weak to the cold since she's a fire type?
みたいね。でも夏とかは水ぶっかけてやると喜んでるから、水属性には強そう。
Weak to the cold but strong to water. She'd be an annoying enemy if this were an RPG.
あの二属性ってなんで分かれてるのか分かんないよね。
And wait, she splashed her underclassmen in summer? I didn't realize you two were so close.
だね。はい、レイナ先輩は頼りになる先輩です。 といってもレイナ先輩の場合、自分が特別というより寮の人間全員と親しいですけど。それもそっか。
Not only was she popular with her own classmates, but students in other grades as well.
でもやっぱりあかねちんとは特別仲いい気がするな。ふふ、おいで。お姉様が可愛がってあげる。先輩。
Akane-chan blushed and approached Reina as she beckoned her over. Plop.
お腹あったかい。待て
What? A time await key?
ええやろな、ええやろ。ちょっとお腹に手入れるだけや、それだけや。いやー、助けて。なあ、スケベしようや。
Reina really did get along well with everyone. It did seem like she favored individuals with more animated reactions and kept them close at hand. The 5 events of track and field?
Hi!
Our conversation led to the 3 of us, Akane-chan included, hanging out for the day.
なんだっけ、陸上って7種だか8種だかあって、その全部に出る系のやつ？それの簡易版ですね。私、短距離が専門でやってるんですけど、他の競技にも出てみないかって言われてて、具体的には800メートル、1500メートル、走り幅跳び、ハードル、あと砲丸投げ。
Shot put.
砲丸だけはちょっと自信ないです。
Akane-chan did have a rather small frame.
他のも何気にきつそうだけどね、短距離の子には。
You just want to give them all a try, right?
はい、結果はともかくやるだけやっとけって感じで。
This was just my guess, but I bet they were short-handed in the other events and wanted to bolster their ranks.
オッケー、付き合おう。タイムとか測ればいいよね。ありがとうございます。
With that, we headed for the track. Incidentally, if you wondered about Akane-chan's skill level.
てりゃーてりゃりゃーてりゃはい、ゴール。800向きではなさそうだね。はい、そうかもってさ。続いて1500メートル。てりゃりゃーてりゃ。
Where does she go? Hiya! Whenever she runs.
気合い入れてるんだろうけど。苦しい。
She's whittling away at her stamina for no reason, though.
そうでなくても長距離に向いた体力じゃなさそうなのに。はい、ゴール。小学生の中でちょっと早い子くらいのタイムだね。じゃあ長距離は向いてないかもってさ。
She may have had the stamina, but wasn't pacing herself very well. Akane-chan really was a clumsy girl.
続いてハードル。てりゃー
Slam, 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 slam.
タイム以前に全部蹴り倒すんじゃ論外かな。続いて走り幅跳び。とりゃ
Thought.
ーいけない。 尻餅ついちゃう。ここで後ろに倒れたりしたら、そんなの付き合ってくださってる先輩たちに顔向けできない。負けるな、茜。倒れるときは前のめり。倒れることを恐れるなー。茜ち。
She went face first? Her face plunged into the sandbox and she effectively slid along on her face for some reason.
どうでした？記録動向より顔、怪我してない？怪我なんていいんです。この記録に命かけてます。これただの練習。
Another lost cause. If she took practice this seriously, then it boded poorly for her future. Okay then, we've determined that you have 0 talent in 4 of the 5 events.
まあまあ、800メートルは配分を覚えれば悪くなさそうだって。
All that leaves is the shot put. But
先生もいないのに砲丸は出してもらえないよね。すいません。
this was the one event we weren't able to test out. Shot puts were obviously dangerous, so we couldn't borrow them without proper supervision.
一応こんなものは借りられたんですけど。ゴムだね。
It's light, but similar in size. We'll use it to check into her form. The one thing she was able to bring with her was a light ball intended for practice purposes.
これで何メートルくらい飛ばすと砲丸なら何メートルってデータがあるので、とりあえずこれでやってみます。よし、頑張れ。はい。
Akane-chan lined up and checked her form. Yank, tug.
砲丸投げってさ、フォーム独特だよね。
You snap your waist and wrists, and the combined force sends it flying. As opposed to the javelin, which relied heavily on well-rounded physical capabilities, the addition of a proficient form played a large role. To that end, the individual had to be completely devoted to perfecting said form. Those who could practice diligently would perform strongly. In that sense, Akane-chan may have a knack for this.
行きます。
After adjusting her form, Akane-chan took a gentle step forward. Clench. She put every joint in her body to work and generated massive centrifugal force with minimal movement.
てりゃー！
Whoosh! It went flying.
おお！
High! Good form. Her liveliness seemed to transfer into the ball and send it flying high overhead. Whiff.
あかねち！
Before it came falling straight back down onto her head.
大丈夫？びっくりした。何ですか今の？鳥？隕石ですか？私の記録は？
No need to take score. You are banned from ever attempting the shot put again. She probably would have died if that had been a real shot put.
頭がじわじわ痛くなってきました。はいはい、痛たんだったね。痛いの痛いの。飛んでけー！
With that, we waited for Akane-chan to settle down and for her pain to dissipate.
私、びっくりするほど才能ないんですね。
There. I wouldn't so much call her talentless as clumsy. What should I do now that she was so upset? With that thought in mind, Reina picked up the rubber ball.
砲丸投げってこういうのなんだ。やったことないな。体育じゃあまりやらないですよね。どうやって投げるの？投げるというか、押す感じです。慣れてきたら途中でちょっとねじってみたり。
Reina listened intently to Akane-chan's explanation.
こうです。こうやって腰がグイッと。いや、変なとこ触らないでよ、あかねちんのエッチ。そんなことは。じゃあ今ここ触ったのは何なんだ。ほれほれ、ここを触るのはエッチだろ。いやー、先輩、秋払い弱いです。
For as down as Akane-chan had been, it hadn't taken much to distract her. Good going, Reina. Her knack for showing consideration for others had saved me plenty of times too.
じゃあ行くぞ。
Now that she'd learned how to do it, Reina tried her luck at the shot put.
そう。
Oh, nice form.
レイナ先輩って何事も飲み込みがいいんですよ。
She was the clever type. Plop.
はーい、ただいまの記録。7メーター30。これはいいの？悪いの？
I've got no clue in terms of rubber shot puts.
すいません。私もそっちの記録は調べてこないと。なんだよ。
I personally didn't think it was half bad.
じゃああと往路やって。3人で記録取って一番決めよ。
Me? I had been lounging around this whole time, so why not? I headed over to the line.
先輩の記録楽しみですね。ねえ。はい。ところでレイナ先輩、3人で記録取ってって私の記録は当然0メートル。ひどいん。
Da! I gave it a throw. But it was no good. I didn't even know how to throw it and aimed it a little too high. The ball just flew up into the sky without covering any distance. Still though, I wouldn't throw like the sort of klutz who's a concentrated mass of all the klutzes in the world, an unparalleled demigod of klutzes throughout all space and time, who would toss a shot put straight back onto their own head. Form.
わっ！レイナ先輩とほぼ同じとこ。
It fell quite close to where the last one landed. I should have checked my form first. I can't believe I threw as far as a girl. Definitely a questionable distance. It did land a tiny bit past Reina's, for the record, but it was surprising how close they were. Reina measured the distance for us. How'd I do?
ただいまの記録7メーター29センチ。私の勝ち。
You've got to be kidding me.
先輩の方がちょっとだけ向こうに落ちたように見えましたけど。知らない。29センチ。
Reina had erased where my ball had landed with her foot. You're more petty than I thought.
あんなギリギリで勝たれたらムカつくじゃん。勝つならもっとちゃんと勝てよ。
Well, sorry about that.
第2投行くよ。
We're doing it again? It appeared Reina wasn't at all satisfied by the results. May as well play along. I fetched the ball. Reina took her position at the line.
せー。
But her form was different from the last time.
No!
Swoosh! It flew like crazy. The ball steadily bridged the distance, coming down a ways past where our throws had landed earlier. But you totally just threw it like normal.
知らない。
Just because it was a rubber ball, she grabbed and hurled it like it was a baseball. You wouldn't clear any distance that way with a real shot put, which proved how poor her form was and defeated the entire purpose of the exercise.
はい、ただいまの記録21メートル。どやー。投げ方はともかくかなり飛ばしますね。
Your reflexes are the real deal. A 15-meter throw was a decent average in girls softball, so that was certainly an excellent score.
はい、お次はオーロさん。砲丸ですよ。ちゃんと投げてくださいよ。
Why you? Since she broke the rules, it'd probably be cool if I played fair and square now and broke her score. But it would obviously be impossible for me to hit 21 meters if I threw it the correct way. She left me no choice. I took the ball and stood in line. This called for clinch. I gripped it hard.
こらこら、その投げ方は反則だぞ。
Like you want to talk.
そんな投げ方で勝って恥ずかしくないのか。
Well, this put us on equal footing. A shallow victory would probably be boring. But... Ah! Whoosh!
え、嘘。
I used my shoulder as a catapult to pitch a long throw at full force. I hadn't done this in forever and my shoulder ached a little. But it went the distance just like it had in the past. Crash. The ball crashed into the fence and bounced back our direction.
ただいまの記録。測りに行くのめんどい。
That's how it should be. I could eyeball the distance from here to the fence at 70 meters at least. Given just how badly she had lost, Reina just kept gnashing her teeth in frustration, unable to complain about broken rules or otherwise.
すごいです先輩。何今の。もうこいつ本気かよ。
There are times a man must win no matter what. This was one of those times.
今ではないって絶対。
Reina smiled wryly. But after taking another look at the distance, her smile stiffened a bit.
元野球部だったんだ。
Guess it was no surprise she figured me out. The average distance a man could throw a softball was around 30 meters. My score was the sort only a guy who knew how to pitch could produce.
あのでっかいワセリンの謎が解けたわ。
More or less. Petroleum jelly was commonly used in sports clubs, but the baseball club in particular consumed it like crazy. It wasn't worth keeping it a secret anymore, and I finally spilled the beans. Yes. There weren't all that many things to hide from Reina.
じゃあ最後は私です。え？
You're gonna do it?
だって2投ずつだから私もあと1投。危ないよ。また頭に落ちてきたらどうするの？
She's right, Akane-chan. It could cause irreversible damage depending on where you are hit.
なんで頭に落とすの前提なんですか？
After this and that happened, not only did we try the shot put, but we jumped over hurdles and simply ran with Akane-chan around the track. We had a full, healthy day.
なんかもう日暮れてきてない？あ、本当ですね。空が私色です。いやー、小学生でもないのに一日中外で遊ぶとかやろうと思えばできるね。
Yeah. The whole day felt like the sort of day off you'd have as an elementary schooler out in the sticks. It had been fun, but isn't it about time we called it a day? It started to get cold anyway.
だね。カラスが鳴くから帰りましょうって時間だわ。あかねちん、あかねちん、空がもうこんな色になっているよ。私色ですね。レーナ先輩、いつも優しい市松先輩が無でも見るような何とも言えない目をしています。大丈夫大丈夫、まだいける、まだいけるはず。空がこんな色だよ、あかねちん。私色ですね。
Is it fun for you to tease your underclassman?
そんなつもりはねえんだけどさ。
Not good. She was teary-eyed. Better play along. It's totally your color, or it sure is red. Now let's play along. Now I get it. The kanji in your name means meadow red, and the sky is the same color. That certainly would make it Akane-chan's color, huh?
Hi!
Foo ha 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 ha. You're a total laugh, right, Akane-chan? Wah ha 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 ha. Wow, you're such a fun girl. It's your color because it's meadow red? Da ha ha ha.
Hi!
Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha. You've got it all wrong.
何やってんだお前ら。
Ah,
この寒い中を元気だこと。
Ria seemed to have surmised the gist of what was going on and headed into the school building without another word.
びっくりした。今の相馬先輩ですよね。1階の。
Yeah.
話してるとこ初めて見ました。
Akane-chan had turned timid. That's how it was. I'm guessing you're scared of delinquents?
かもです。暴力とか振るう人じゃないのは知ってるんですけど。
She was trembling. These were likely the honest feelings average students had for Ria. I had no intention of sticking up for her. While it was true she wouldn't go so far as to be violent, she was definitely still a brutal, scary person. But yeah, this was definitely how it was. Not the type that was likely to get along with Jogasaki. I said goodbye to Akane-chan and Reina, then followed after Ria. But...
リアちゃんと話すの？
well, yeah.
オッケー、私も行く。この前は邪魔が入ったリベンジ。
Revenge for what?
気になるでしょ？膝のこととか。
Well, I guess. Reina seemed to want to talk to her too and ended up tagging along. This really put me on the spot.
にしても、どこ行っちゃったのかな、リアちゃん。てか、休みに何しに来たんだろう。
I knew where Ria was. However, I promised to keep that spot on the rooftop a secret. I would obviously be breaking that promise if I brought Reina with me. What should I do? While I worried about that...
何してんだ、お前ら。お、みっけー。
Ria popped out from a nearby restroom. Hey. She seemed to immediately piece together my predicament and shrugged her shoulders, seeming exasperated.
なんか用かよ。
Then she started up the conversation here and now.
この前の怪我どうなったかなって。もう治った。見りゃわかんだろ。
Ria flexed and stretched the leg that had been injured.
そっかそっか、そいつはよかった。てめえに関係ねえだろ。俺が怪我しようがなんだろうが。
Sounded like she was in an awful mood today and was acting relatively hostile. She snapped at Reina, who was moderately kind, rather excessively. It obviously wasn't as if Reina didn't understand, and she got a slightly dejected look on her face.
まあ、うざかったなら謝るけどさ。うぜえ。オッケー、ごめんよ。
Ria seemed irritable, and her mood was worsening by the second toward Reina, who was as light-hearted as could be. The mood was awful and spelled trouble. Maybe I should step in? I considered it, but then...
でもなんだ。心配は心配だよ。ちゅうわけで、 膝見せて、膝。ほれほれ、こっちこっち。
触んなてめてか痛めたのは右だよ。なんで左触るんだよ。
そうだっけ。
どっちの足かも忘れてんじゃねえか。どこが心配してんだ。
まあいいや、触りたいだけだから。ほれほれほれ。
やめろこら。うおいったく
うんうん。暴れても平気なくらいには回復してるね。
Reina cackled. Ah, she chuckled.
うぜえな。
She somehow managed to keep up outward appearances, but
うざい上等。こっちはうざさで損したことないもんね。
Reina laughed it off. Didn't look like there was any need for me to step in. Reina's whimsical nature had drawn Ria in before she knew what had happened. Ria could have ignored her and left, but ended up chatting with her instead. She was angry, but had a fun time talking. Come to think of it, Reina was the best in our class at making friends. No matter how difficult the person was, she never made any critical errors. The sun set while we were living it up in the hallway, so we ended up heading home together. Tough luck back there, huh?
たくうぜえ。てめえが変なの連れてくるから。
私のこと？
他に誰がいんだよ。
ゴミーン
こいつほんと殴っていいか。
Now, now.
おい、こいつ絶対に例の場所連れてくんなよ。来たらまずてめえから突き落とすからな。
I'll be careful. We hadn't gone as far as the rooftop today either, for that matter.
たく。
Ria's expression was mellow, all said and done. She didn't make faces like this when we were alone together, though. Reina was one impressive smooth talker.
Ayaka, どうかした？何見てるの？
いいえ。
The three of us headed back to the dorm again today.
お前、最近ずっとあいつと一緒だよな。
Hmm? Ria pointed to Reina with her jaw. Were we together that often? Maybe we are together a lot now that you mention it.
好きなの？
Huh?
なんでもない。忘れろ。
It's not nothing. How could I forget now that I've heard that? Did I like her? Did I have feelings for Reina? Well, yeah, I did like her as a friend, but Ria obviously meant it that way. I don't really feel that way about her.
シルビーの時もそう言うじゃん、お前。
And I also only liked her back in the past. Yeesh, what was with her? I only considered Sylvie and Reina friends. What was she getting all jealous for? I mean, I did think they were both wonderful women to fall in love with, but I had no plans of pursuing romance whatsoever yet. I hadn't gotten that something else I devoted myself to out of my system yet.
Oro!
Ah? Ria and Reina's voices instantly faded away as a deep male voice called out to me, since that voice was something special to me, because it was something else entirely. Completely different from those of Ria and Reina, my female friends.
見つけた。本当だ。ノーブル学園にいたなんて。
This guy actually has a sprite, so he must be fairly important.
誰？
あれ、どっかで見た顔。確かネゴチンがスマホで。嘘。1億円の 島くん
Oh, that's him? I had forgotten to mention this to Ria earlier. At this point in time, I was in no mood to find a prospective partner. Namely because I hadn't yet settled a score from my past that stood in the way.